Hello, everyone. This is Yonks with REtoken, the real estate DAO, and thank you for joining us tonight. We are underway with our third content team. It's been a busy month here at REtoken, and that's largely evidenced on the Google Calendar. Even though we have Christmas coming up on Saturday, happy holidays to all of you out there. We're still wanting to get all the things done here. This is REtoken ReLaunch. And that's one of the things that we're going to be speaking about here is, and I'm going to just, since I'm on the calendar, let's take a look so you have a little more appreciation for how much. And one of the things I was talking a little bit about before we went live, and if you're hanging out on our live stream, make sure that you chime in on some comments. We are a tokenized Web3 community, REtoken the real estate DAO. We have our social token on Polygon. Our token policy is all over the place if you have any questions about that. But we're here tonight to talk about our content. And if you're on our live stream, you're participating in our content. We love hanging out with you. We love being transparent. We love showing you what we've got going on. And I just want to run around the Zoom real quick as far as who is participating here. And from a content, this is one of the things that I keep on putting out to the universe. We have an absolute need and an absolute opportunity for somebody that loves what we're doing here from a live stream standpoint, that wants to hop in and enjoy and engage and help us produce. We're looking to utilize OBS. We're using Restream and Zoom right now, and OBS, we believe, will take our quality of our live stream up to another level. And it's not something that I've had enough bandwidth to figure out with everything else that we've got going on, especially with REtoken ReLaunch. And on that note, I'm going to go around the, what do you call it here? In no particular order, but we've got Julie, who is one of our latest new community members of the week, and we absolutely love all that she's contributing in every manner. I'm not going to go into detail here. Efosa is a new person. Welcome to REtoken DAO. Amy has been participating for a while. Blackfire, we thank all that you have brought to our community in the short time here, Blackfire. So thank you all that you do. Mrs. Yonks, I cannot speak enough about how amazing that you are. I nominated you here as a recent community member of the week. You do so much behind the scenes, but most importantly, she puts up with my crazy ass that is a whirlwind, as she likes to call me. So there is that. And Double D, welcome, Double D. Thank you. Excited to see some more of the design work. We have a POAP design contest currently underway for REtoken ReLaunch. And that's one of the things, again, the focus of tonight is to talk about REtoken ReLaunch. So let's, and I see Teresa just joined. Welcome, Teresa. Always love your contributions as well. So the focus tonight is to talk about REtoken ReLaunch. And for those that may or may not know, we have an opportunity. So real quick, here's the let us meet. I'm going to talk about this. And we get all the things done with Trello, and this is REtoken. You can go to trello.com/REtoken. This is something that I fixed. I saw that wasn't working. And the one right here with the little Scrabble is the one that is a public board, which takes us to this board right here. This is where we do most of our getting things done stuff. And this is the agenda for tonight's live stream. And I saw that Ryan joined. Welcome, Ryan. Love your contributions too. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight. As I mentioned, we're going to be focused on the REtoken ReLaunch. So the first opportunity here, and this is something that spoke about on the core team call on Sunday, is that we have been testing out this new tool. And this I felt was a good opportunity to get a little bit additional on this, because I love, like, when I did this onboarding call myself couple week or two ago, I felt really good with how the video turned out, but I didn't have anybody participating with me, and it would be fun, especially in an AMA where we had some more active. So where I was going with that, this is a limited opportunity to get some bonus REtoken right now as it stands, and that's reflected. I actually moved the placeholder on the calendar. So right now, if unless it changes substantially, a link is in the Zoom chat. And if somebody could throw that link in the live stream chat on Discord, that would be fabulous as well. Because shortly after the conclusion of this live stream, right now, going to work on getting the events scheduled in Seshbot, because that's one of the feedbacks that we have consistently heard, is that we want to do a better job getting events on the calendar. And that's the content team is really going to be the owner of the content calendar. And until we figure out a more complicated or have a need for a more complicated system, I think focusing on getting the events here on the Google Calendar and just being intentional about that, I think that I know it's helped me just personally using the calendar, the Google Calendar, as far as managing the stuff here at REtoken. So hopefully everybody else is finding value in that as well. Like this was one of the things here. We've got some, and Mrs. Yonks was talking about those backlinks. We'll talk a little bit more about that tonight, but I just kind of wanted to open it up here and do a round robin. And I know that you love facilitating some conversation, Teresa. So would you love to facilitate a round robin conversation as far as, and maybe Julie can help capture what people are saying, but just hear what people would like to be discussed about this REtoken relaunch, like maybe one or two things, and then do it popcorn style. But I'm going to kick it over to you, Teresa, to help facilitate some idea curation for this REtoken relaunch, so that will give me something, because I'm going to take what you all provide here and really work on putting some agenda together for this AMA, and then also be thoughtful about, you know, taking this feedback and then using that to help present a more unified content and messaging on this. So I'm going to go on mute, kick it over to you. Thank you for helping with this, Teresa. And if you're not able to, let Tyler know and she'll drive that show.
Sure, it's fine. I was listening in on YouTube, so it was delayed. I heard you asked for me to help facilitate a round robin, but I wasn't really clear on what it was about, because I was trying to listen to two at once. It wasn't
fair enough. The REtoken relaunch, and this is really like I think that you asked, so I really got the idea from this, and I also know, because I wanted to talk about this because I saw some feedback from Ernest, and thank you, Ernest, for all the conversations that you bring. So over here in our DAO governance, and this is where most of the content about this REtoken relaunch has been fire hosed by me in this Webiddle threads. And the idea here is to kind of like put a nice bow tie on this, allow other people to ask some questions. And this is like just to capture one or two things from the participants here, what they would like to hear covered in this REtoken relaunch AMA. And then, of course, in an AMA format, they'll have additional opportunities to ask questions that weren't already answered in that format that we'll be doing on the AMA live stream on Wednesday.
Okay, everyone. I hope y'all got that. So we'll get started. Let me see who all's in here with us. Amy, would you like to get started? Can y'all hear me?
You know, I was in YouTube too, making a comment, so I'm sorry. Skip me for a minute.
No problem. All right. While Amy adjusts, Blackfire, would you like to share with us? And then we'll go to Double D so you can get ready. I know there's a delay for those that are watching on YouTube. Is there anyone who is ready? And let me get this right, Jason, while everyone's getting ready to share their perspectives. You want us to provide what they want to see for the AMA?
Yeah, just one or two questions. I mean, like all of this REtoken relaunch, and it's a lot of information that have kind of fire hosed here during this REtoken relaunch. I mean, introducing teams, team captains, and I think that this is just kind of a good opportunity to really lean into this we biddle culture that we're looking to foster here. And that's one of the things that really became evident through the process with the white paper working groups that we hosted. We just finished our 6th one last week, and I still say I think we're 95% done with the light paper. But the question at hand is, one or two questions that you would like to hear me speak to at the AMA before we open it up for whomever is participating at the actual AMA, the REtoken relaunch AMA on Wednesday.
Hey, Teresa, did you see Julie in the chat?
Yeah, so I was getting ready to address that actually. Julie has posted a comment, and so I'm going to read her response because she cannot speak, so I'll read it for her. But Amy and Blackfire, if either you are ready to speak afterwards, I'll be calling on you. Okay. All right. So Julie, who's at work, has said, if the intent of the DAO is to be a content DAO or a research DAO or both, then what will be the mission of the DAO? What is the purpose of the DAO? Or maybe what are the massively transformative purposes, MTP, of the DAO? I understand them to be: 1, equitable housing. Example, Token Town flagship project, in real life projects, etc. 2, agnostic platforms. Example, Coordinate, Mighty Networks, Discord, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc. Content, internet, online based. And 3, Web3 monks. Example, Mastermind, fractionalized real estate, classes, courses, and certifications. Educational content, mostly internal, with eventual public access. So her question is, what will the mission of the DAO be?
Yeah, and I don't think that that's really changing from our Genesis proposal, and I am going to bring that up here too, because and that's, I think, the opportunity to further define this we biddle an inclusive and platform agnostic community. Looking at our Genesis proposal, and this is on snapshot.org. This is one of the links, whatever platform that you're coming on, unless it was on Twitter, you'll be able to link up to our snapshot very easily there. And these are the 4 missions that we identified when we launched this. And this was dating back to September 6th that you can see up here. And these are those 4 missions. And I don't think that these 4 missions are changing. This is just more of the opportunity for us to further, I think, characterize and lean into this we biddle culture. And one of the opportunities that we have, and really looking forward, Blur's Day has committed to come out to Denver for Ethereum Denver and really encourage people that are wanting to, learn more about the
Jason?
space. Yes, Teresa.
Just a moment. Do you want me to have time to get through all of them?
No, you're absolutely right. So we've got a great list, and one of the things that's fabulous about that is this will kick out to saved via the chat. And I'm going to this was shared on the Zoom. I'm just going to copy this here and throw it in the channel too, because this was really great feedback. So appreciate that so much, so we can make sure that that's captured for later. Let's see.
And I'll also request that others also do post theirs as well in writing, so that we can have that as a reference, in addition to the collaborative discussion opportunity that we have going right now while we're in meeting. So Amy, if you are ready, you can go ahead and unmic and give us your comments and perspectives on this as well. All right, Blackfire, how about you? Are you right there, Amy? Okay, go ahead.
Can you ask the question again so I can?
Yeah, absolutely. So what one or two questions do you have about this entire REtoken relaunch?
I think just going through the new apps or tools that we plan to use or intend to use can be a little bit much for people. And what I'd like to know is, um, where is this heading eventually? Are we switching or we're just wanting to find which one will work better for us? And then another question is, I know Discord is kind of confusing. If Discord and Mighty Networks are two separate things that one person can just use one and not the other, how will the communication be? Is there a continuity of information passing through, or is one application different from the other? I'm just trying to find that out in my mind, I guess, how that will work. Because you said that some people don't have to be in Discord if they like Mighty Network, but the flow of information, is it going to be the same? Is my main question.
Okay, Amy, it sounds like there were multiple questions in that one. I would like to request that you post those and number them pretty much the way Julie has done so that we can get into it and dissect it. Those are very important questions, okay?
Yeah,
Which
to
chat
speak
should I post it in Discord or here?
or on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, that's fine too.
Okay, I'll go back.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about how that we're doing it. And this is a good example, because like the thing that's fabulous about like the live stream, like you think of a platform agnostic, because this is one of the shifts that we made, because we could be hosting this live stream in it would be harder, and that's one of the reasons that we pivoted to the Zoom platform. But like one of the reasons that a lot of communities use Discord is because it provides the functionality of like audio chat or screen sharing. And Zoom, the tool that we're using right now, isn't a free tool. And this is definitely something that we need to have more conversations. It's not about the REtoken relaunch, but that's just one example of us putting something in place that's platform agnostic, because you don't have to have Discord to participate. And like when you think about being able to participate with the functionality that we've got with this Restream bot, somebody can chat on Facebook and it'll come into Discord, or somebody can chat on
Okay,
YouTube.
Jason.
Go ahead.
No problem. I just want to make sure that we can get through everyone. But if you would like to have time to respond to all of the questions that are posed before we move to the next one, just let me know.
No, go ahead. I appreciate you keeping on point, and that's why I asked you to facilitate this.
If that's
Teresa.
The structure, you know, we can modify.
No, love it.
All right, no problem. All right, thank you, Amy. We'll be looking for that so that we can address those one by one and and get clear on those. So next, Blackfire. If you could unmute, please, and give us your questions or comments.
I think the way we're progressing is very good, in my opinion. We do have to work with various different aspects and agendas, which is coming up slowly and surely we're moving forward, and that's a good news, and that's great to see. I think Taylor's and Jason's leadership towards completion of this project is very important, and they're doing a wonderful job. So that's my feedback in terms of questionnaires and the questions. I haven't prepared for any questions. if I have questions, I will write those down in the Discord and for further discussions with the team, and the team we're working on it, I suppose. So thank you all. It's great to be here, and it's a great opportunity to be part of this great project. So yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you, Blackfire. So do you feel like you have a good grasp of where we're going and where we're headed and how we're getting there?
So for me to comment on that, so I know that Design is working on the coding and infrastructures and the frameworks of how the code, you know, in terms of code is concerned, how that's going to be done. So they're working on it. I do not know the details of that. I can put my contribution if they want, but I'm pretty sure that they got that sorted. I think Jason can talk more about that. And so I know Blauster is also working within the tokenomics and stuff. So for me, there are a few aspects, few different. We can compartmentalize, you know, each of those segments in various different places. So let's just say there'll be administration segment, there'll be operation segments, there will be segments for strategies and the frameworks, and there will be community operations and management. So these are different departments, in my opinion. So if we put all together, and this is going to be a big bureaucracy, we don't want that. We want to delegate this work in various different individuals, and they can oversee all this work to work more effectively. Instead of, you know, centralize all the work in one place, it becomes a headache. So I think you know, in coming days, I know a lot of people are busy this holiday period. So after holiday period is over after next year, I think in probably a couple of weeks in January, in mid-January, we can have a, you know, better understanding where we moving towards, and then, you know, we can have some framework and some action items and, you know, some targets to fill. So once you have that, then we can work towards that. That's just my opinion. I think Jason and Taylor can talk about this in much more details.
Okay, thank you, Blackfire. All right, Double D, you can unmic. And please let us know what questions you have about what we're working on in AMA, right, Jason? Is that what you're asking? AMA?
That is correct.
Okay. I don't really have any question for now. I think I'm okay with everything.
I didn't catch what you just said, Double D. Can you repeat that?
I said I don't have any question for now.
Okay, that was it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Efosa? Am I saying that right? EFOSA. Would you like to unmic? All right, Ryan. Ryan, if you're here with us, you can go ahead and unmic and let us know what your thoughts are or questions.
Yeah, I asked them in the YouTube.
All
I
right.
was just
Yeah, he was asking about tokenomics.
yeah, like I don't know when we were going to start talking about kind of the more functional parts of what we're kind of doing. I know we're doing a lot of kind of community building and team building and orienting towards that. I just was curious as to when we were going to start. If the relaunch is kind of time to start moving towards like functionally, you know, platform specific talk about the different things and whatnot.
Since the tokenomics question keeps on coming up, and I don't know how many more people do we have any more people to facilitate in the round robin question
No,
or
this
the
is
conversation?
it. So go for it.
Yeah, so the tokenomics, I think that there is a need and an opportunity, and I would love to hear some thoughts, because I know that Blackfire's been a little bit vocal about the tokenomics. And one of the things that's very different about our project, and I would love to hear some thoughts about how to capture this, but like, I mean, we're using Coordinape right now, and a lot of the normal tokenomics that gets put forward, I understand the why, but the reason that we're not doing a lot of those things is because we have roadmapped our regulation crowdfunding offering to basically, the goal is to translate in some manner whatever the community agrees upon whenever the time comes. Because right now the challenge, and this is something that we would love to have more conversations about. I mean, we had on Friday on the REtoken calendar, and I'll digress momentarily and just show that here, the Silicon Prairie AMA that we participated in to explore potential solutions partners. Because like, when I say potential solutions partners, the solution partner for who that we will use for tokenizing our security tokens, because this isn't something that we can do ourselves. I don't even know what the path to becoming a regulation crowdfunding platform looks like. And we will be intentional about having those conversations, but it won't occur under the REtoken umbrella, if you will. And there's already been a little planting of the seeds as far as what that may look like. And I anticipate that those conversations will intensify. So like right now, this is season 0 here of REtoken. You earn REtoken, this fun token. We have our token policy on our,
Jason,
yes, Teresa.
while you're stating that, I'm wondering if maybe you could go to the GitHub and pull down the list that explains the seasons, because I think that will help orient people of when we move from season 0 to season 1 and 2, and what that looks like and where we are in that process.
No, well, and that I'm glad that you brought that up, because there's not a piece of content that clearly explains that. So let me actually.
There is, Jason. I saw that somewhere.
Well, I don't know of a good place to point, and that's the opportunity that we have, because I don't know of a good place. And like from a content, because one of the main avenues of creating content within the last 30 days has been Gitbook, which is why that I gravitated here. And we do have like maybe on. And let me go to the Genesis proposal, because I already had that up here before as far as REtoken DAO season 0 and season 1. What is a season? A season is agreed upon window of time when members can align on projects that help us achieving in our broader mission. Season 0 Genesis. During this initial season, we are laying a solid foundation while being initially focused on delivering value to our members. So in season 1, and when we first wrote this, initial DEX offering IDO, when REtoken becomes listed on a DEX, this will initiate season 1. And one of the things that's unfolded since then is that that was RIP1. And for those that don't know, R is REtoken, I is improvement, and P is proposal. This improvement proposal is used pretty commonly throughout the crypto industry. So
it's not rest in peace.
Correct. Right. We're working on building a foundation that we believe will last for a long time here. So the one that was relevant is the one here, RIP5, roadmap item for regulation crowdfunding. And I don't know if we put in here anything about the season. I'm just looking through here. But my expectation, this is the thing where we might like fast forward next year and we're like, hey, it makes sense for us to, like, we feel that we're mature enough, we want to, flip the switch to season 1. That's really an internal decision that just kind of like, and maybe that's something, we want to, like, maybe after we get done with this REtoken relaunch, maybe we want to say, okay, well, we did this REtoken relaunch. let's call January 2022 season 0. But the important thing here is the regulation crowdfunding piece, because we want to basically, in the industry, I don't know if anybody's heard of the concept of dog fooding. But it's where you kind of like practice, what you're building, or like let's say, like, for example, if you work at Google, I probably don't anticipate that there's very many people that work at Google that are carrying around an iPhone, and vice versa. I would imagine if you're working at Apple, you're probably not
Jason?
carrying around a Google Pixel. So yes, Teresa.
Let me get a pulse really quick. Ryan, do you feel that your question was addressed, or did it elicit another question?
Well, I think and this was a long-winded where I was going to bring this back, but I think the opportunity of just doing a tokenomics AMA, and having that in tokenomics AMA, I'll put that as a question mark, and just doing something where we talk about that specific. Go ahead, but I'm going to stop talking and let Ryan chime in.
Yeah, I was just, I think, I don't know that I expected an answer here, right? I think it was more a question of like, just like you were talking about doing the AMA or something like that, and in having it be about not just like, and maybe tokenomics is not like the greatest of words for it, because like I do think we do a really good job of communicating, like with Coordinape and how we're kind of using the token currently as an incentivizer to kind of reward folks for participating. But I think when I was thinking of the question, it was more along the lines of, we formed and our kind of the goal of the original, at least I'll make I statements. What I thought the original goal was to figure out a way to actually take real property and do the functional work of fractionalized ownership and how we represent that, and create this process that basically tackles all of the business structure side of things, the tax side of things, and all that kind of stuff, to be able to say, okay, here is a property, whether it's whether it's something that's in Token Town or something that's just any address wherever. If you would like to have this product tokenized, then this is how you do it. And then I think a lot of concepts of like how the DAO makes money and has these different cash flows from education and summits and just all the different things that will, and I don't know, I know we say like REtoken is for fun, and that means something from some perspective about SEC and things like that, security stuff. But there's also I'll make I statements, since I don't know if how this reflects on things, but I statements of like, I thought this would be like some other DAOs that are out there, where there is a DAO treasury that has whether the token's traded or that DAO treasury is monetized through stable coins or some type of way, because they're receiving funds, whether it's fiat, stable coin, crypto, whatever. And then that's doing something, like we're doing something with that, or that's being distributed, things like that. So those are the questions I have about quote unquote tokenomics, I guess.
So pretty much help me clarify the question so we have it properly written. Are you asking how do we create a use case, process, and systems for the structure of doing real estate tokenization and its processes for a DAO that is income producing? Is that a good summary of your question?
Sorry, for me, I had an alert come in that they, like, muted your
I
volume.
can't hear you. Is it how we create it, or when do we create it, or is that something that is a part of the goals of what we're creating?
Yeah, I think it's a question about how, like, what are our goals from the business? What's the business of the DAO, and how are we going to do that? I guess are the questions that I have. Like,
Yeah,
I think
and
we've done a really great job at, like, talking about, like, forming people up into teams and talking about, like, the different aspects of the.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Ryan. I don't know about other folks. Are y'all hearing him well?
no, something changed. Your audio quality was great. Now it sounds like you're eating a sock.
Sorry.
Thank you. Please repeat what your last few statements.
I don't know if you can hear me better now or not.
Yes.
Not much. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. I think that, sorry, I think the question was about the business of the DAO. Like, I think we've done a great job at developing a core group of people that have buy-in and that want to participate and that are willing to put in time to do things like the light paper, and now, you know, talking about some dev and some different teams that are organizing and getting stuff done. And I think I would really like to hear about how all of this organization and everything we have, what's our season one? Like, I know we talked about, like, okay, well, season one is when we're listed on an exchange, but I guess my question is more about the business of the DAO, of, like, how are we bringing in funds into the treasury? What are we doing with those funds? Are those, like, looking at other DAOs, and, like, I know we're not those things, but, you know, I look at them and I see, like, you know, MakerDAO has a business around it, right? And they have a treasury that brings in money, and then those tokens, like, represent value and things like that. And that, you know, those are places where, you know, people have full-time jobs being paid in those tokens and things like that. So I just wonder if we are looking to go there, and how we get there, and that kind of talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, and to provide a very quick answer, the original ethos of the DAO hasn't shifted. We absolutely do want to, and this is one of the things that really uncovered through the reason that I've had the light paper on here. The team put forward, it was a great effort, and I feel really good, which is one of the reasons that it's on the screen right now on this. And this right here, the We Biddle passive income with real estate investing for everyone. This right here is the caveat that makes really what we're wanting to do and very different, because a lot of projects that are in this real estate tokenization niche offering the fractionalized real estate situations here in the US are geared towards the accredited investors. And that doesn't provide the for everyone, because for those that don't know, and I don't want to answer this question here, but that's a great question. But yeah, the underlying thing hasn't changed. And, like, that's one of the things that when I say we are a content DAO, that's our main product as it is today. We don't have we don't have the securities registrations to issue security tokens. We have to find a partner, and those conversations have occurred and will continue to occur. And the people that are interested in those conversations, I mean, like I said, we made that available, but it's an ongoing work in progress. And I'll try to, I'll add this into the, just thinking out here as far as add this into the timeline. And then, like, one of the expectations, and I haven't moved this forward yet, but this other one, We Biddle Equitable Affordable Housing. This is something that we're going to be very intentional about expanding conversation, because, like, there's really two tokenomics situations here. We've got the tokenomics for our own DAO, one. The other is the tokenomics for the property that we're tokenizing. And I think that that's really where we could get, and we should spend the most of our efforts, because we don't know what it's going to look like ourselves. And I really hope and that we can put together a tokenized project that we can rally behind as far as a community. And this is one of the things that Tyler and I are going to be very intentional about having conversations, because like I've already talked about this co-op housing NFT and a co-op housing protocol, because I really believe that that opportunity is, and that's something that we're going to work on collaboratively, not here under REtoken, but through our home co-op collaboratively externally, because the opportunity for co-op housing protocol is much larger than just real estate tokenization, in my opinion, and that can potentially get some legs on its own accord. So, and that's one of the things too, like it became very obvious, and Tyler can attest to this. When we were on the AMA with Silicon Prairie on Friday, I was like, we need to have a DAO to do some on a global basis, because I was actually thinking of doing a regulation crowdfunding DAO. I have regcfdao.eth, true story. I also have regcf.dao, and I've got other domains surrounding regcf, regcf.app. But it occurred to me.
Jason, excuse me, I just want to take the pulse of the room or listeners here and see if anyone got missed, or if anyone wanted to add to the questions. How much more time do we have, Jason?
Well, thank you for that. And this is one of the things I'm trying to get better at, Teresa. We've got 3 minutes here, and I'm okay going a little bit over, but I do want to be respectful of everybody's time, especially since it's almost 9 p.m. on Monday on Christmas holiday week. So back to you,
Okay.
Teresa.
Was there anyone that was missed? I know Tyler, I don't think I heard you speak, but I'm not sure because I was in and out on the YouTube.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa. Jason, one thing I'd like to add is why we're doing securities regulation. I don't know if that actually got added to the official list. A tokenomics thing, a tokenomics special thing, I think is really good and on point. I would like you to address in this AMA why we're doing securities regulation in general instead of not, because a lot of people are choosing to say that they're not securities, and kind of why we made the decision that we think that they are securities. And then we can, if people have more questions about that in terms of the tokenomics. The other thing, Ryan, to your question is, it sounds like, when are these tokens going to be tradable, or when is there going to be an opportunity for an income stream, or whatever, like when are they going to get monetized? So there's going to be a lot of different opportunities for you to make money in 2022. We were talking about the token summit. We were talking about a lot of different opportunities for you to make money that are not specifically related to the security launch offering. So I don't know if that was part of your question. If it was, that's something that I don't know if we've been super clear about. Is in 2022, what we're building up right now is a way for people who want to be really committed to this thing and want to make some money off of it to do that, not related to selling or trading their REtokens or getting an income off the REtokens.
So Tyler, what I would suggest is that for everyone who has answers to these questions that have been posed, that we choose a platform in which we're going to compile them together, like a Google Docs, or I'm not sure if GitHub facilitates collaborative documentation.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea, Teresa. And something that's come up before. Yeah, thanks for bringing this up, Jason. We've had a number of people request frequently asked questions. So I would like to volunteer to start drafting that. Any of you that have other things, either questions or answers, or questions and answers, let's all just throw them. Is that where we want to do this?
Yeah, so who wants to initiate the creation of a Q&A document for housing these questions and answers?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, we already have, and this was something that we added on one of our previous live streams. And I can't remember if there was somebody that had this as an action item. I'd have to defer back to probably a Discord thread that I made, but taking some of this is, I think, will also be very valuable for incorporating this into our FAQ that we can have on our docs.retoken.info here. And I think we're planning on moving that over to docs.ret.team, but that was another conversation earlier
Can
today.
you produce a link and share it in the Discord for us to go in and put the information in there? And I would expect that everyone will participate in making sure that their questions are accurately posed in there, as well as if you are one who has knowledge that can answer the questions, not being shy in contributing to answer the questions. You don't have to answer it in completion, as long as you do participate in the collaborative document. We can all work in modifying it as needed as we work through it. Please don't wait for Tyler or Jason to answer everything for us. This is something that we are doing collaboratively. So don't be afraid to dive in and add your 2 cents. That's exactly what we want to happen. And so I'll add my questions here too. Some of the questions that I have had are, how do we better facilitate people being able to utilize the Zoom to conduct meetings, and to utilize the proposal process so it's not one directional, and just one team that's creating all of them. But I would like to see, the real estate teams, the tokenization teams, the dev teams, be able to self-organize and hold meetings so that when we come back to our weekly meetings, they have things to report and not just wait to hear about what happened with the dev stuff. Because there's a lot of things that we all can be doing simultaneously in our silos to help make the organization stronger as a whole. But I think the tech team is leading, I guess you could say, when we all can be working equally. And so I would like to know how that meeting of all of the other talents that are in the group can occur through usage of the Zoom. Is the Zoom account a corporate account, or is it your personal account, Jason? How are others able to initiate convening to work on things that may not be tech related or governance related?
Yeah, and
but
this is
tokenization or real estate related.
This is a good example of like I'm hoping to see more of these breakout conversations occur. And we actually did that earlier today in ad hoc. And that's one of the awesome things about Discord. And we do have the live channels set up down here in the meeting channels. So that's that's really where Discord shines, and the opportunity, if we needed to set up team specific channels, like if these start getting used more. To answer your question right now, the Zoom is a personal account that I have, and this is something that we need to look at doing, because like it's been a huge burden on me with the event and the workflow process as it exists today. But like going back to what I was talking about earlier, D-Sign, myself, Amy, Poopster even hopped on there. And we were specifically talking, like Ryan, it was a great conversation about treasury management. And I've been showing, like right now, REtoken does have 2 Gnosis safes for doing treasury management. I mean, we've had these $3,500 coins that's been sitting in here since we won the Decentralized Governance Hackathon. So the opportunity to come up with some proposals and do some treasury management, like I think that there's an immediate opportunity to diversify like this Ethereum name service. We were blessed with a very large airdrop from ENS because we did the right things with our ENS domain. and we received 262 ENS. So like the opportunity of having some conversations, and then going back to the Discord conversation, like that's absolutely something that I would encourage, to have more autonomy in these team conversations. And that was something that where we made good use of that. And one of the outcomes of that ad hoc conversation is that we are putting on here, because like one of the opportunities that UMA project, and a need that UMA project has, is to also figure out like recurring payments, like Zoom. Zoom is a monthly recurring payment, and we REtoken DAO aren't set up to have fiat, like not crypto payments on a recurring basis. And this is something that we, as a result of that ad hoc conversation that happened on Discord, we agreed that we're going to prioritize this, which we've already had on the roadmap for opening up an Uphold account. Yes, Tyler?
Hey, we're over time here. Do people want to keep going, or do we need to wrap this up?
So anyway, we're going to be like, those are all things, and Zoom alternatives, and you know, like the opportunity. And this was one of the things that I brought up earlier today on the dev team call too. Like right now, the website retoken.info and ret.team, since we don't have this reoccurring ability to set up payments, we're putting in an interim solution, and then also having a higher priority for getting this. So that's something that will have, I think, more solutions as far as getting more decentralization, because I will be glad to have, and anybody that wants to get more engaged as far as helping to elevate the content that we're creating right now to another level. I mean, this is the content team, the biggest, besides all of the information gathering that we did for the upcoming AMA. And to circle back here, as far as bringing some closure to this, the one opportunity that's an immediate opportunity for people that are wanting to participate in this AMA, to input your availability on the Let Us Meet, and that is in the Zoom, and it's in Discord. So that's the final thoughts, and I'm going to do my countdown timer here while we bring it to a wrap, as far as, because we're already 10 minutes over, and I'm going to leave it up on the Google Calendar so that everybody can see that, because we do have a action-packed next couple of days, and we're only putting more and more stuff on the calendar. And that's one of the things that I'm wanting the content team to work with the other teams, as far as really executing and just providing a consistent experience so that people can work on moving this organization in the right direction. But thanks everybody for hanging out. I'm going to throw up, and if somebody wants to chime in, throw this up, and when we get down to zero, I'm going to go on mute and let everybody chime in if they want to, and then when we're down to zero, have a good night.
Thanks. I look forward to seeing the Q&A doc.
Good night, everyone. See you guys next time. This is Amy.
Bye, Amy.
Bye.
Good night, Julie. Julie says good night, everyone.
Yes, good night, everybody. I'm going to bring it to a close on the happy good nights for everybody, and thanks for facilitating the conversation tonight, Teresa. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.